from Bagotas, Bukidnon. I would like to thank you, ma'am, for your very excellent presentation. It was very specific and very systematic. But as a Seventh-day Adventist, I would like to ask this from a standpoint of a Seventh-day Adventist. Will there be any backlash from the international community or the government in this fight against drugs if, as a Seventh-day Adventist, we create our own entity, our own program on fighting drugs? Because as a Seventh-day Adventist, I believe that the main problem that will solve this drug problem is not through all these man-made steps to solve it, but the permanent solution is a change of heart. It is a conversion that will solve the drug problem. It may temporarily solve the drug problem with these steps, but it is not permanent. And so I was wondering if there's any backlash if a Seventh-day Adventist community concentrates on solving the drug problem by changing a person personally. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for the very interesting question. Personally, I believe that there is no backlash if we're going to come up with our own model. In other countries like Cambodia, they also have this religious-based approach. The problem is the UNODC has no standard yet for faith-based approaches. So again, the challenge is for us to provide the evidence that faith-based or spiritual approach works. So we need to be aggressive in doing research because I believe that we're doing a lot of best practices. And a spiritual-based approach is very promising. So please,
do a study.
I challenge you.
Do a study.
Please provide the evidence and let's convince UNODC that we have a lot of effective models of drug prevention in our country.
Okay.
Before I will give the microphone to Dr. Landles, I would like to introduce him. He is our Health Director from the General Conference of the Seventh-day Adventists, Maryland, United States. This is Dr. Peter Landles.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I came in late and not because I wanted to, but because of unforeseen circumstances. I heard a portion of your lecture and was very much appreciative of it. In answer to the question, is there evidence based that spiritual approaches work? Absolutely is. The sociological literature is robust on the approach of what spirituality, and particularly when one looks at it in the context of the family, in prevention of at-risk behavior, in prevention of time of initiation of drug use. And I think that one of the things that we need to be very conscious of, and I served for a number of years on the United Nations Drug Committee in New York, is we need to be careful and cautious, and I would say this to the church and churches, that we be ethical in our application and that we introduce people to a spiritual process and to Jesus Christ, let's say it as it is, but that we do not force people to become a member of a certain faith. And I think that that is crucial, that when we do the work that we do, that we use the faith basis, which is crucially important, a very important and proven mechanism in keeping people in recovery is the 12-step program, which alludes to the higher power. And for us, the higher power is Jesus Christ. And I think that we have no question, and I would love to exchange contact details with you. We have an organization called the Institute for the Prevention of Addictions. It's based in Loma University and in Andrews University, and is sponsored as well by the General Conference from my office. We have researchers who are looking at a tremendous amount of data which shows, for example, that young people who have been raised in a culture which abstains from tobacco, abstains from alcohol, and also includes things like service, mentoring, and the fostering of relationships and the building of resilience. All of those factors, I think, is what our colleague was perhaps referring to. And I don't believe that there can be a backlash against evidence-based, proven mechanisms which are put in place to prevent at-risk behaviors. Where I do see we might run into a problem is if we become where we would only give it on condition that, and that is not what we're about. So I would love to share with you some details. We could share with you some of the basic research which has been done. It's been published widely. We have excellent researchers in the field, and the spiritual approach, when one looks at, and I noticed you said don't focus on just self-esteem, and you're right. But we cannot focus on education alone either. Along with the education has to be the cultivation, creation of meaningful relationships, plus the connection to individuals of significance in the life of the person. And we heard about parents. I agree with that entirely, and the literature agrees with that. But also to a set of values. And in this nation, and where I come from, the set of values is founded in the Christian understanding to a great extent. So I think that we are very in great company. We have good, robust evidence, and we need to get out there and do the Christian thing, and that is help those who are in trouble. Thank you for sharing what you have.
Thank you.